Episode 15, The Price of Freedom, Part 1. Freedom doesn't feel like songs and open skies at first. It feels like fear. Amina woke up in a room that was not hers. The walls were plain. The window looked onto a street she did not know. The air smelled differently. For one terrible second, she thought she had dreamed everything. Then she saw Marco sleeping on a chair, his head bent forward, his hand still holding hers. Reality came back. So did fear. She sat up slowly. What if they find me? She whispered. Marco woke up at her voice. They won't, he said, but his eyes were not sure. They had no plan, but only a direction, which was away. They counted their money. It was not much, enough for a few days, not enough for a future. Marco said, "We'll find work anywhere." Amina nodded, but inside she wondered what kind of life begins with running. They moved to a small town far from her home. No one knew her name. No one knew her family. No one cared. That freedom felt strange. And then they rented one small room, one bed, one table, one window. They slept holding each other like the world might steal them back. Marco searched for work every day. Some people said no because he was foreign. Some said no because he did not speak well. Some didn't even listen. Amina wanted to work too, but she had never worked like this before. Not choosing, begging. They sold small things, her bracelet, and his jacket. Each sale felt like cutting another piece of their old lives away. At night, fear grew louder. What if they find me? Amina asked. What if I cannot take care of you? Marco replied. They both felt like children pretending to be adults. One night, Amina dreamed of her mother crying. She woke up shaking. I left her, she said. You did not leave her, Marco answered. You left a cage. But she thinks I left her heart. Marco did not know how to heal that. The freedom was real. So was the pain it had caused it. And now they had to learn something no one had taught them. How to build a life from nothing. Part 2. Days in the new town began to look the same. Morning meant hope. Night meant fear. Marco walked the streets asking for work. Construction sites, shops, restaurants. Some people were kind but said no. Some were rude. Some houses. She washed dishes. She helped in bakery for coins. Her hand became rough. Her back began to ache. But she smiled more than she cried. Working makes me feel real, she said. Marco felt proud and ashamed at the same time. He wanted to be the one carrying everything. But freedom doesn't care about pride. Money stayed the same. Some nights they just shared one bread. They joked about it. Romantic, Marco said, as he was splitting the bread. Like a movie. But like a movie, Amina laughed. But hunger is not funny when you wake up with it. They argued quietly about money, about tiredness, about fear, never about love. Love was the only thing they protected without questions. One afternoon, Amina saw a woman who looked like her aunt. Her heart stopped for a second. She ran home shaking. They found me, she cried. Marco held her until she calmed. It wasn't her aunt, but fear doesn't need truth to hide, to hurt. That night, Marco said, if they come, I will protect you. She answered, I don't want you to fight my family. I will fight anyone who tries to own you, Marco said. In that moment, Amina started crying. I don't want blood between the people I love. They understood then. Freedom had saved them, but it had also made enemies out of memories. And this is a heavy thing to carry. Part 3. Weeks passed, and life settled into gradual rhythm. Marco worked from dawn to dusk, repairing anything anyone would let him touch. Phones, electronics, small machines. He learned quickly, but each repair was paid barely enough to buy 2 meals. Amina worked in a bakery, kneading dough, washing drinks, learning to speak to strangers without faltering. Her hands were raw, her back ached, but every coin she earned felt like a small victory. They rarely argued now. They were too tired. But the quiet tension never left. Hunger, fear, and exhaustion. They were constant companions. One evening, after a long day, they sat outside their small room, sharing a simple loaf of bread. I never thought freedom would taste like this, Amina whispered, holding a torn piece in her hands. Marco laughed softly. I always imagined it. It was golden light and singing birds. She shook her head. No, it's heavy. It's choices and fear and love all at the same time. Marco nodded, taking her hand. It's us. It's worth it. And for a moment, the world seemed quiet. The fear and questions. She tore it open in private. Her father's words were sharp, careful, controlling. You are lost. Think carefully before it's too late. Freedom is not always safe. We can fix this. You must come home. She crumpled the paper. Fear and guilt had pressed into her chest, making it hard to breathe. Marco saw her shaking. What is it? Her voice was barely audible. They are watching. They want me back. He held her tightly. Then we fight. Or we run. But we stay together. Amina rested her head against his shoulder, tears slipping silently. I don't want you to fight them. I love them. But I love you too. And that is when the truth hit them both. The freedom had a cost. It demanded strength they had never needed before. It demanded courage they did not know they had. It demanded sacrifice. But in the midst of fear, exhaustion, and hunger, one thing remained certain. They had each other's backs.